friends, and happy May. It's officially May, so it is about 1:30 in the morning for me, and I am currently on sprints with Nicole and Brooklyn. Kodo was on with us earlier, but he has gone to bed. So I went ahead and I did my first spin, which I will have put in here because I did it on sprints, so I will have already put that in.
All right, so I'm gonna make you bigger, Emma. Sure. Are you ready? Go. There we go.
Here we go. Okay, so I have all of my little thingies on the wheel. My books, that's what I'm trying to say. Lord.
Spin that thingy.
Wow.
Oh.
The Enforcer. Of course, we're going to kick it off with a hockey romance.
Love it.
So I'm going to finish my... I can be small now. Thank you. I'm going to finish my Harry Potter pages. And then I will start the Enforcer because I'm going to have to read that on my Kindle. I did not find audios for any of these books.
I was expecting Nicole to do an intro and she made you big, like, and now.
I'm glad she didn't.
Wheel.
Ooh.
That's a little bit creepy, my friend. That's just creepy, my friend. I'm sorry, but no.
Especially because Nicole is gonna clip this for me because I don't really know what I'm doing. So she was like, "I'll clip that part." That's why she made me big. It's because she can clip it, so I can put it. You will know that the first book that I will be reading for Kindle Unlimited Mayhem is The Enforcer. I am gonna also be working on Happy Place. However, I think Happy Place will be read at work, not Happy Place. My God. Funny story. Funny Story will probably be my working book because if I need to, I can grab, I'm allowing myself to grab any of my buddy reads as audios. So because I have a few buddy reads this month that I'm doing, so I'm allowing myself to read those as audios if needed. But all of my books that are from Kindle Unlimited have to be read as Kindle Unlimited books. The exception to this is Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. So I am about 35 or 40% through Funny Story. I'm absolutely loving it, but we're going to go ahead and start The Enforcer. We have about 10 minutes left of this. I think we're on the second sprint, so we're going to be sprinting for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start The Enforcer. This is by Avery Keelan, and all that I know about this is that it is part of a series. It's part of the Lakeside University series, and I know it's a hockey romance, as you can tell by the cover. So that's all I know about this book. I don't know characters, I don't know anything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this, and when I know what's going on, I will come back and update. Good morning, friends. So I'm about to go to bed. I'm going to eat a salad and then I'm going to go to bed. But I wanted to come in and do a really quick update because I'm about 60% through The Enforcer. I did find the audiobook on Libby and I've been bouncing between. So I didn't update yesterday because I had a super bad migraine all day long. I ended up just sleeping all day long. It's broken now, my migraine, and I think it's because it's super stormy here now. So yesterday it was pretty gross, it couldn't decide if it wanted to be hot or cold or wet or whatever. Today it's storming, so I think that has given some relief to my head. Unfortunately, when I get really bad migraines, it also affects my chronic back pain, so there's that. But I am 60% through this book. I have about 3 hours left and I'm on chapter 24. Here's the thing about this book. I'm going to give just a really quick update on this because there's one glaring thing that just annoys me about this. So Violet is our main female character and Nash is our main male character. Nash is a hockey player and Violet is majoring in sports medicine. So they date freshman year. There's some kind of crazy like breakup thing, which I think we're getting to the point now, 60% in, where it's like being explained, but there's a big breakup after Nash blows Violet off. And instead of going with her to her family's house for Easter, he decides to go on like a road trip with his friends. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Then we jump from the first chapter being freshman year and like their little meet cute to the second chapter is where we really start, and it's their senior year of college, and Nash is still playing hockey, and I might have said football a minute ago, but I meant hockey. And Violet has to do an internship, and she's been nominated to, or chosen to intern with the hockey team, the males hockey team, because she is one of the top students in her class. So that's a whole thing. And because she's a trainer, they are assigned certain people. And of course, it's a book. So one of her athletes that is assigned to her is Nash. So we're supposed to believe that Violet is a virgin at the beginning of this book, which is good and great. I feel like more like virgin representation it needs to be had. I think that it's kind of weird of books to like put on that like everybody loses their virginity at 16, especially or younger, especially as someone like who didn't, like in actual life. So, but we're also supposed to believe that she went from being a virgin to being super kinky, and I just don't, that's like not a thing that happens, you know. I've been very open on this channel about my experience in like the kink world, and I've known about the kink world since a pretty young age. Like I've known about it. I didn't partake in anything until I was over the age of 18. I think I was about 20 to 21 before really like diving in. But like you have to experiment with things. You don't just like jump in knowing exactly what you want to do. So that's the one thing that just annoys me about this book. But otherwise, like the story is pretty good. I'm invested in the romance. It's definitely like an exes to enemies to friends to lovers kind of a format. So I'm sure that at some point there will be a third act breakup. This is not going to be like a 5-star book, I don't think. Right now it's sitting at like a solid 4. I just can't get over the fact that she's a virgin when Nash meets her, and then he talks about like how kinky she is the whole book, which like I get it. He is kinky, which we do know that. But he was far more experienced before meeting Violet, so I feel like that makes sense. This, Violet being super kinky just doesn't, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I don't know, maybe it, like if you're also like a person who participates in kink lifestyle and that's happened for you, maybe like comment below and let me know. But I just feel like it's not super realistic. And I also talked to a few of my friends, I'm not going to name them, but a few of my friends who I also know about like the kink lifestyle, and they agreed with me that it seems far-fetched to do that. So I just kind of wish that like if we're going to have some kind of like kink representation that doesn't feel like you just threw it in there, like maybe do some research first, you know. That's it. But yeah, so my goal is to finish this book today. It is Thursday, so I have sprints with Nicole tonight. So I'm glad that my headache seems to be gone now. But I have sprints tonight, so I'm hoping to finish this before sprints, and then I will come on camera and I will do another spin for the next book, because I'm super, super excited for that. In case you missed it or something, which you shouldn't have, because I've already explained this, and you probably, yeah, you would have already seen a spin. We are using a spinner wheel to pick our books. That just seems like the easiest thing. And I want to amend something, because I think I said this in my TBR video or my announcement video. I am going to allow myself to do audiobooks. I talked to Nicole about this because she made a comment about listening to audios for these books while working. But my caveat is that there is a rule for myself that the only way I can listen to audio is if I am doing something else. So I have to be doing chores, or I have to be diamond painting, which I have my diamond painting over here next to me, but I have to be doing something like actually with my hands that is not just like playing games on my phone. First of all, I don't tend to concentrate very well on books if I'm playing games on my phone, but also I just don't like, I use so much screen time as it is that that's just a bad habit. So yeah, so I'm going to allow myself to do audios as long as I'm doing something else. So because I was like, oh, I'm just not going to do audio at all this month, everything will be read on my Kindle. But then that means that like I can't diamond paint if I also want to read. So as long as I can find the audiobook free, I'm not going to be buying any, just because I don't want to spend money or credits on Kindle Unlimited books. But if I can buy them, if I can borrow them from the library, like from Libby or from Hoopla, both of which I have access to, or if I might decide to turn Everand back on, like just for this month. And if I decide to do that, then I can read through Everand. But yeah, that's where we are. That's where we're at. So just wanted to come in and say that. And I will see y'all in the next update. Hello, besties. Alright, so I'm back because we have finished The Enforcer. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. It was not great. It was like not my favorite thing I ever read. It wasn't the worst, but there were just a few things in it that were pretty unbelievable for me. One of them being that like our female main character was supposed to be like a virgin, and then she became like super kinky. Didn't love that. There's also like a lot of use of the name pedal, which I also didn't love. So 3.5. all right, so I'm about to do another spin, so let's go ahead. We're gonna spin and see what our next book for this challenge is. So let's go ahead and we'll spin it. Maybe. All right, so Bigger Rock. So how I'm gonna do this one is, this is like an anthology, like it's like more than one book. Not an anthology because that's more than one author, but it's one book or more than one book. I'm not gonna take it off the I'm not gonna take it off the wheel because it is 4 books in one. This is why I usually use a tripod, but I'm gonna just read the first book in this little collection, because there are, like I said, 4 books. I think there's a total of 8, but the first collection has 4. So that means that for Bigger Rock, we're going to be reading, let me see, I gotta open the book because I don't know what the first book is called. What is going on? Okay, but we're gonna be reading the first book in this collection. I guess I could just pull it up on my phone because my Kindle is being weird. Let's see. All right, so the first book in this collection is called Big Rock. So that's what we're going to be reading first. So it looks like this, and it's 4 books in one collection. So I'm going to read Big Rock, and then I will decide, like where to go from there, I guess. So yeah, we're going to start with Big Rock, and then when I finish, wow, what in the heck? There we go. When I finish Big Rock, which is this yellow one here, then I will spin again. I'm not going to read like the entire collection, so all at once. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. And yeah, so I'm going to start that, and then I'll come back and check in again. Hi friends, here for another update. So I'm actually going to be DNFing the book that I just spun for. So I spun for Bigger Rock, which is a 4-book series. It's like a digital box set. I'm gonna be DNFing this. So I started with Big Rock, and we're just not gonna do it. So the first couple of pages are terrible. The writing is not great. I do like Lauren Blakely, and I do recommend like her hockey series. I read the first one in that and I absolutely loved it. It was like a why choose polyamorous situation. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This book, terrible. It started out terrible. I mean, the first like I read 2 pages, the first 2 pages, and it's just this man talking about how big his manhood is, if you know what I mean. So no thank you. This is a series of books that are all from the male perspective. I'm not a huge male POV kind of girly. I either want dual POV or I want it all to be from the female perspective, unless it's like gay, obviously. But these are straight men and I don't care. So I'm going to be switching it out. I don't know what book I'm switching it out for yet, but we are going to do a new roll. We are going to do that. So I'm going to do a new spin really quick with y'all on camera from my wheel, but I will be switching this out. So it is a rule that we can, or one of the rules is that if you read less than 20% of a book, you can switch it out for a different book. So I am going to be doing that just so that I keep my numbers the same, but I will not be reading this. So again, I'm not reading this because male POV exclusively, which is not my favorite. I was willing to give it a try even though I knew that going in. But I also don't want to read the first 2 pages about how large your dick is. So we're skipping that. Okay, so let us spin. Okay, let us spin for a new book. Hopefully Big Rock doesn't come up again. If it does, I'll just remove it. Okay, so let's spin. All right, so we got Sinbin. I don't know if you can see Sinbin. All right, so this is a hockey romance. I don't know anything else about it, I'm gonna be honest, but I know that it's a hockey romance. So we're reading another hockey romance, and I will pull it up really quick on my Kindle so you can see what this book is. I'm actually kind of excited for this one because I did read the synopsis on this, I think, and it looked cute and I really liked the cover. So this is Sinbin. This is what we're going to be reading for our book. So it's by Anastasia White. It says it's part of the Sinners on the Ice series, and the little blurb on the book says he didn't believe in love until her. So we're going to be reading this, Sinbin, which, for anyone who doesn't know what a sin bin is, it's like getting benched in hockey. So that's what it's like. And I only know that because in The Enforcer, they talk about the sin bin. So yeah, so this is an enemies to lovers college hockey romance, Sinners on the Ice, book 1. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start that. And we're going to pray that this is better than whatever it was I was about to read. Okay, goodbye. Hello friends. Alright, so I'm back with an update. I am going to be DNFing Sinbin at 15%. The reason is because one, the pop culture references are a bit much for me. It's fine if you like allude to shows or books or whatever, but they are like blatantly using books and TV shows in this, namely Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas and also You on Netflix. So don't love that. Also, there was a pretty blatant Harry Potter reference, which I can usually overlook in romances if they were published in or before 2019. This book was published last year, so I can't overlook it. It's really annoying. And then also, I don't enjoy the, I do not enjoy the bet trope. So this is where two or more characters bet that they can sleep with the third character in the book, and unfortunately that happened. 3 of the hockey players bet that they could sleep with the female main character first. I hate that trope, so it's gotta go. So basically the 3 strikes you're out rule for me. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spin for a new book. That way we can just start fresh. Alright, so the next book that we got is Binding 13. So I've technically already started this book. I'm not 50% through. I think at one point I said I was 50% through, and I'm not. I don't know why I said that. I think I may have thought I was, but yes, Binding 13. So this is a sports romance book. I have the audio for this one, so I may or may not utilize it. I may kind of jump in between. But I am, I think, like less than 20% through this book, actually. Yeah, I'm about 12% through, and I'm on chapter 6 of Binding 13. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that, read some of that. Maybe diamond paint. I think I might diamond paint, so I'm probably gonna start with the audio over on Scribd, and then I will pick this up. This is a sports romance, like I said. This is Johnny and Shannon's story, the first book in their story. And I think he plays, what does he play? Lacrosse? I don't remember. Rugby? He plays rugby. So, that's what this is. This also takes place in Australia? Ireland? Ireland, I believe. So I believe this takes place in Ireland. So that's where we are. That's what we're reading, Binding 13. And I will be back when I have something to check in about. Hello, friends. Alright, so a little update. This is also like the end of this week's vlog. So the last clip that you saw, I spun for Binding 13. That's what I got, was Binding 13. I am absolutely enjoying this book. I'm 25% in, and I'm doing kind of a hybrid between audio and ebook, and the reason for that is just because this is the current book that I'm reading, so that I have an ebook for, and so I can diamond paint while I listen. The audiobook is top tier. I will warn that it's broken into 2 parts, so that was a little intimidating to me at first because I think each part is like 15 hours or something, but I can definitely listen to it at about 2.5-ish times speed. The voice actors are really great, the narrators, whatever, they're really great. So I highly recommend. But that's what we're currently reading, is Binding 13. Absolutely enjoying it. I will say this, because there's a lot of debate about whether this book is YA or not. Retailers are putting it in the YA section, and they need to stop. There is actually a thing in the beginning where it says that this book is intended for people 18 plus. So yes, our characters are still in high school. Yes, our characters are younger, 16 and 17 into, well, 15 and 17 into 16 and 18. Johnny starts out being 17 and then turns 18, I believe. And then Shannon starts being 15 and turns 16. So there's that. But I know that there's been a lot of debate back and forth because places like Barnes & Noble, Target, wherever you find these books, are putting the Toman, the Boys of Toman books in the YA section. Now, I will say that at least at my Walmart, they are not in the YA section. They are with the adult romance section. Like, they're over next to like Hate by Tate James, which is clearly an adult book. But just know going into this, they are younger characters, but it also doesn't read YA, in my opinion. Like, I forget that they're in high school. Part of that is because the school that they go to is a high school. It's like a private high school, but it's called Toman College. So that's first. The only time that I'm ever really reminded that they're in high school is whenever Johnny brings up the fact that Shannon is a minor, which that is a theme that happens throughout this, but it's not like a thing that gets brought up a lot, in my opinion, at least not in the first 25%. So there is where we are. I am, like I said, 25% through this. Absolutely loving it. Whew. Sorry, absolutely loving it. So I'm going to close out this vlog for the week. Thank you so much for watching. And as soon as I close out this vlog, I'm going to start a new one. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you've read this week. If you've had DNFs like me, or if you've managed to find really good books. Yeah, I could see Binding 13 being at least a 5-star for me. It will just kind of depend. And so, yeah, that's where we are. So all of my links are down below. Also, I'm gonna put this in here, even though I was debating whether to do it or not, but Ari has asked that if people would like to send her things for her birthday, her Amazon link is always in my description box. I don't think she's aware of that, but she said something to me about it the other day, and I told her that I would let all of our book friends know that her birthday is coming up next week. And so she would like for everyone, if you can, it's not an obligation, I'm saying that, but if you can, she would like you to send her things. She absolutely loves opening them, and anything that she does receive, I will be doing it like an unboxing style video with her. However, it will be on Patreon. I just am not super comfortable with continuing to put her on my channel in like a permanent format with lives and stuff. You'd have to scrub to find her, and she usually isn't on camera for more than a couple of seconds saying hi or whatever. Usually you just hear her in the background. But if people send her things, again, I'm saying that there's no obligation. If it was up to Ari, everyone would send her things. But if you would like to send her things, her wish list, like I said, is always down below in my description. And anything that she receives, I will make sure to put an unboxing on Patreon. And I will also send individual photos to the people who sent them to her. So as long as I have like a Discord or Instagram or some way of getting a hold of you and you sent her something, I will personally take a picture with her, the item that you sent, in the little like gift note, and I will send that to you in case you're not on the Patreon, because I don't want you to feel like you have to pay for Patreon just to know that she opened your gift. So that's all I have. Patreon link and every other link is down below as well, and I will see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.